Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan from Sports Card Radio, back from the Topps 65th anniversary party in Henderson, Nevada. Going to be talking about all about that and what happened there, and maybe a little bit about Upper Deck E-Pack, which has just released Series 1 onto the market. And in my first box, I pulled an Austin Matthews Young Guns card that's worth roughly about $100, although the value depreciates pretty quick when these E-Pack cards come out because a flood of them hit the market all at once. But so this show basically be about the Topps 65th anniversary party and my experience there, and maybe a little bit about E-Pack toward the end. But wow, a little doubtful, a little apprehensive going into the party, which was held on January 18th in Henderson. A little worried that the $2,500 that I'd spent for the pass and all the accommodations and the couple extra nights in Vegas was all going to be maybe a waste of time and certainly a big waste of money. But wow, was I wrong? Did that end up being a straight come up for me and certainly most, if not all, of the people in attendance? So I'll be walking you through my experience, the good, the bad, the great, what I got, where you can find more information about the party and videos and all kinds of stuff if you haven't seen those already. This was held in Henderson, Nevada, and the venue itself, it kind of sucked. It's way out in Henderson, which is like 20-30 minutes away from the Strip. Very aesthetically, visually pleasing. It's set on a lake. My room overlooked a lake, and the golf course looked pretty nice. Looked like it'd be a fun golf course to play. A lot of the holes were on the water and stuff. But, I mean, Topps comped a hotel room for the night, and me and a few of the people who were staying there bolted back to the Strip after the Topps party to spend the night actually on the Strip, because this place, had one restaurant. It was like a huge place, like maybe a place better set for wedding receptions and stuff, but just kind of more of a retirement home feel to it than a Vegas feel to it. But that really didn't matter because we weren't really there to see the sights. We were really there for this Topps party, and I got there definitely too early because I was wandering around trying to find something good to eat before the party started at 5:30 at night. Tom Fish of Blowout Sports Cards purchased, I believe, 18 total passes for this. He mostly paid about $3,000 each from my understanding. He did invite a lot of employees from Blowout and people he knew, but I don't think too many people took him up on the offer, and he ended up with 18 of the roughly 65 passes that were given away for this party. So naturally, with one guy having 18 passes and not bringing a whole lot of people with him, the room was actually probably a little more condensed than it normally would have been if there were more people who had the passes that Tom Fish had. Tom Fish proved to be very, very smart. I think whenever Tom Fish goes all in on something, might be a wise idea to follow him in. Certainly would have been a good idea to buy multiple passes to this, or I'm very happy with the one pass that I got. We waited in line. You had to actually wait. I had to wait in line about 5-10 minutes to get in. You had to bring your Transcendent pass. It's this kind of big pass in the envelope. They gave you a wristband. They gave you a name tag that you put where you were going to eat dinner. And they just kind of let you in. They had an open bar. They had some hors d'oeuvres. They had some, fruits and veggie. They had some ham and turkey and some other kind of hors d'oeuvre food. And they had a place to take pictures with Chris Bryant. It was pretty much your standard, like if you've been to like a wedding reception and stuff, kind of a ballroom, kind of circular tables in the middle, kind of standard setup for those type of things. I think most of us And when you reach a certain age, you've been to these type of things, wedding reception or kind of corporate dinner at a hotel or something. We've been there. We've seen this type of setup. That's basically what it was. They had one little table with all kind of great cards on it. And you can see those things. If you want to see more from the show, I did a write-up, 2017 Top 65th Party Recap on Sports Card Radio. Probably could find that easily. Either go to the site or search that in Google. I don't think there's a whole lot of other recaps or information out there. Most of the people there, familiar faces. Again, Tom Fish had 18 passes, a couple group breakers, some other big box sellers, guys you maybe ordered from online, certainly on eBay or directly through their site as well. Whoever's selling cards on eBay, they were definitely there. But anyways, the night, certainly after arriving and just kind of checking things out, I was still very apprehensive maybe about 30 minutes in. It wasn't until Topps employee Clay Laraski started talking about all that we were going to get in our gift bag and all that we were going to have an opportunity to win that I was like, wow, this is going to be at least a straight break even, if not a come up for me, depending on how lucky I get. Some of the key things is we all got about 8 to 10 silver packs, which contained pretty much all one-of-one cards. Some of them were from the recent Topps Chrome Sapphire set. Some of them were from 2014 Topps First Edition. Some of them were from 2017 Topps Series 1, which hasn't come out yet. I got about 4 or 5 of those cards. There were autograph cards. There were one-of-one cards. The giveaways were spectacular. The key part to all the giveaways was a 65 card Chris Bryant set, not autographed, but serial numbered to 65 each card. And it was all the years of Topps. So it started in 1952 and it had a 1952 design with a Chris Bryant card. On the back of the card, it explained that this was a card given away at the Topps 65th anniversary party, and it had a signature of the Topps GM. And they basically went through all 65 years of Topps, and you got a card of Chris Bryant. So as you can imagine, that's a pretty interesting piece, because you could sell the set by the whole, and I know some people did that. And the thing to have done was to bring a wad of cash to this event, and I could have came up on some sets, because what I did was I broke my set up. I ended up keeping a few cards, giving a few cards to some people I know, but I ended up selling 60 of the 65 cards for more than I paid for the pass, $2,500. So straight come up for me. I sold some on eBay, and then the rest I just kind of wholesaled to another guy who was there and who was also a larger eBay seller. I don't have time to be selling on eBay. I put about 50 to 60 things on eBay, and I was getting offers and questions and all this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, this is a pain in the butt. So thankfully, a seller reached out to me, and we just kind of started talking, and then he was like, hey, do you want to sell your cards? And I was like, yeah. And this ended up working out really well for me. Why don't we get into that? On the 2017 Top 65th Anniversary Party Recap on Sports Card Radio, I broke down some of my cost for the entire trip. Why don't we go through these? I obviously spent way more than you would have had to, but I think it's good to at least be honest with what I spent and to see what I got out of it. So I paid $2,500 for the pass on eBay from a guy. I stayed 2 extra nights at the Vidara and the Aria. Oh, no, it ended up being 3, because on the night I had the free hotel room, I actually bought a hotel room. So it's 3 nights, 2 nights at the Vidara, 1 night at the Aria. That's roughly $250 a night, so that was $750. My flight round trip was $156. I don't know how much I lost. I definitely had a losing craps, but it wasn't that much. It might have only been a couple $100, but I don't really know. I bought up some clothes, bought 2 pairs of shoes, bought a pair of Kobe's. They're sick. And some other kind of Nike white kind of cross-training shoes. And those were only $80 total. So that was a good deal. I put walking around money, $200. You're just spending money on it. I mean, just walking around in Vegas is a ATM machine. So you're just blowing money. Tips, easily $200. Between my gambling tips and just tipping random people, easily $200. My food, I went light this time, $200. That can go way up depending, but I just had Shake Shack, I had Javier's one day, and some pizza another day. Uber's $206. Again, that's very high. You can get away with a lot less than that, but usually I'm taking the Select service or the XL, and those trips out to Henderson were like $70 each, I think. So I have total spent $4,092. And I sold on eBay $1,025 worth of cards. Private sales, I had $2,250, so that totals $3,275. So I spent about $4,000. I got $32 back. And what I still have from all the free stuff I got an autograph of Chris Bryant to 15. I got a Cal Ripken 1/1. I have 2 on-card Cal Ripken autograph, 1/1 cards. So that's very nice. I got 2 on-card Mike Trout autographs, numbered to 15. I have a Dansby Swanson autographed Bowman Chrome, numbered 9/10. First Bowman Chrome autograph, very nice, probably worth a couple $100. I have an Omar Vizquel Topps Transcendent autograph. Stephen Piscotty, first Bowman Chrome, serial numbered 6/6. And Miguel Sano, Bowman Sterling autograph, and a nice Corey Seager Topps Mint autograph rookie card, serial numbered 5/5. If you want to see all the stuff that was in my silver packs, I have those videos, Sports Card Show or Sports Card Radio YouTube. You should be able to find those fairly easily. Those are linked also in the 65th anniversary party recap. I also show you what's inside that swag bag. You can definitely look on eBay and see all those different Chris Bryant cards. But even though it was a real end of the day come up for me, we can still be critical. We can still talk about some things they could have done better with the party, and also just some questions surrounding some of these cards and giveaway cards in general, restamped cards in general, that I think is very pertinent for collectors. One thing about the party itself, this was just your standard, if you've ever been to the National and they do the meet and greet and they give away stuff, this was basically felt like the same thing minus the Q&A. Would have loved to have seen a Q&A. And Chris Bryant showed up and we had filet mignon. And the giveaways were way better. That's basically all this was. It was basically, fly to Vegas and Topps was going to give you some stuff. I think they could have done a little better. Maybe some talk about the history of the company. It is their 65th anniversary party, so any kind of, talk about the history of the company. And there certainly was some brief remarks by Clay Laraski, who does actually a pretty good job with these things. God, if he wasn't around, I don't know who would have the microphone over there. Boy, these things would be a train wreck. And Chris Bryant also talked briefly about the event, but I thought they could have done a little better there. If you want to see, I have not only YouTube video, but I have 5 live streams that ends up being probably about 20 minutes of live stream coverage from this event. Keep in mind that it is live stream, the lights were dim, and it is certainly not professional shot. It's certainly not something I would put on YouTube, but it is footage from the show, and it is about all there is. I have some initial, and you can find all this again on the 2017 Topps 65th Anniversary Party Recap on Sports Card Radio. But I did an initial live walk-in stream. I have the time when Clay Laraski is his opening remarks and giving away some stuff. And then I have some more moments of them giving away some stuff. I have the Chris Bryant talk that he gave when he entered the room and introduced himself, and about 7 minutes of Chris Bryant taking pictures with people that are there and signing autographs that everyone got. In addition to the autograph, the Transcendent autograph that we got, serial number is 15, that Chris Bryant signed in front of us, we are also going to get a Topps Now card of Chris Bryant and ourselves. So that'll be awkward. That'll certainly not be something that will be seen other than probably my girlfriend and maybe close friends and family. Topps, I will say, another criticism here of Topps, they were not thrilled with my live stream coverage of the event. One of the employees asked me, Chris, what happened is Chris Bryant came in, he gave the little talk, and then he came around to each dinner table and spent about 5 minutes talking to the dinner table. One of the Topps employees came over to me and said, hey, don't record Chris when he comes over here to talk to the table, which I wouldn't have done anyways. I mean, that's when Chris Bryant is up talking in front of a large group, that is a time to be, recording him. When he's signing autographs, that's a time to be recording him. When he comes over to my table, that's certainly not a time I would be whipping out a camera to be recording him. Certainly better moments for that. But he told me that. I said, oh, yeah, don't worry about that. I wasn't going to do that. But later on in the evening, one of the marketing employees at Topps, and I think I might even have her name. Let's see if she's certainly not a fan of mine. Leanne Minatuli. I wish I would have practiced that name before. Leanne Berthe Minatuli. She's got four names there, but she's not a huge fan of mine. She came up to me. She is the senior marketing manager at Topps. So yeah, the senior marketing manager, certainly not a fan of mine. She came up to me and was like, I think she said, hey, can you do me a favor? And, cut it off for the night. I think she said a couple other things, but she's certainly not a fan of mine. Earlier this year at the National, I live streamed the meet and greet that they have at the National, and I came in early to set up because I was trying to find a good camera angle where I was going to set up, and I had even a tripod. And she wasn't thrilled that I had. She said, "quote I had talked my way into the room to set up early," which is kind of true because the Rip Master was in there. So I came in, started talking to him, and then started to set up. And so she is correct. She's not a fan of mine. She asked me to stop about midway through the event, and I'm not really sure why. I don't know if that's to protect Topps. I don't know if that's to protect Chris Bryant, perhaps. I don't know if that was the time she asked me to cut off is he was signing a bunch of autographs for Tom Fish, who had 18 passes. Could be to protect Tom Fish, who was a large customer, and certainly maybe not the best look for him to be just like scooping up all this giveaway stuff. I don't know. Can definitely speculate there. But 2 points of reasoning that I make in the recap write-up that I did is if I didn't, pull out my camera and do this live stream, I would have just been off the cuff, been probably one of the only person there disseminating information. Who knows what I would have tweeted? I was half drunk at one point. Certainly after a couple drinks. I don't drink normally. You think I'd go to Vegas all these times and I, get wasted and stuff. And I'm like, stumbling down the strip. That doesn't happen. I don't drink at home. I don't drink in Vegas. But there was an open bar that Topps was paying for. So I, aside from a family wedding, I can't think of a better time to drink than, if Topps is paying for an open bar. So I had a couple of drinks, which definitely, trust me, that's going to get me a little buzzed a little bit. Better me holding a live stream situation where people can make their own decision of what was going on, aside from me tweeting what Topps was doing, what the awkward moments were. Better to just get a live stream. So hopefully Topps doesn't get too butthurt in the future over these types of things. I can't believe they wouldn't expect at least somebody to have a camera or to have wanted to record a situation that was going on there. More importantly, though, this is far more important here, are these giveaway cards that, very interesting. First of all, they were in these silver packs. The fact that they added a 1-of-1 parallel to the 2017 Topps Series 1, which hasn't come out yet. They essentially added a 1-of-1 parallel that you could only get at this party. I assume all the 350 cards were available. I got about 5 of them, so that story checks out if there's 65 people, and I got about 5 of them, and there are about 350 cards in the Series 1 set. There's 1-of-1s available now for this set that hasn't even come out. And if you're a team collector or a player collector or a master set collector, that certainly throws a new wrinkle into things. More interesting, though, is one of the cards I got, and I saw several examples of this, is I got a Corey Seager Topps Mint. Topps Mint was a very expensive product. I think at least several $100s a box. Corey Seager on-card rookie autograph card. That's got to be a pretty nice card to hit, even out of an expensive product. It's serial numbered 60 of 99, but it was re-stamped 5 of 5 and has the 65th anniversary party stamp on it. So there were 5 of these given away at the party, and it got me thinking, well, wait a sec, there's only 99 of these cards to begin with. Now 5 are at the party. Were these not in boxes and packs? Like what? Where did these 5 come from? They probably weren't purchased on eBay. Gonna take a wild guess and say that Topps didn't buy these back and put these on eBay. Now I understand. Now I got a Dansby Swanson first Bowman Chrome autograph that was same scenario, re-stamped in serial number 9010. Dansby Swanson signed, if not well into the hundreds, if not thousands of these Bowman. Even the number one pick, somebody like him, signed thousands of these Bowman Chrome cards. It's understandable that Topps is going to hold some back. Keep some for damaged cards, keep some for just replacement value and things like that. I don't really have a problem with some of these more common cards. Same thing with the Stephen Piscotty I got. Re-stamped, serial numbered 6 of 6. Stephen Piscotty probably signed 2,500 of those cards. Don't have a problem with that. It's these ones that are serial numbered to 99, and there were 5 at the party. And I saw more examples of that. Cards numbered to 99, there were 10 given away at the party. It's like, well, why didn't these get into packs? So certainly when collectors see that, and when I scrolled through my Twitter feed, I certainly saw that as well. When in some of the responses to the party coverage, this isn't going to endear yourself to collectors. It's going to endear yourself to the 65 people in this room who are straight going to come up and are going to leave Vegas at least with a break even, which how many times you can say that, if not a straight come up. I mean, there were guys who straight got, $1,000 cards, $5,000 cards on top of the free Chris Bryant autograph everybody got, on top of the Mike Trout autograph everybody got, on top of the 65 card Chris Bryant serial numbered set everybody got. That was worth upwards of a few thousand if you sold it right. I mean, this was a straight come up for the 65 people in that room and Tom Fish, but how much did you do to your collector base when they're seeing cards that are serial numbered to 99 out of an expensive product, and 5 are now given away and re-stamped at this party? So it's not, it's not going to make you feel good. It makes me feel good in the moment, but then the more you think about it, the more you look at it, the more you begin to question it a little bit from a collector side. Let's read some tweets. Certainly the worst time to message me on there is when I'm in the midst of the party, or if I'm in the midst of the national. Anytime before, anytime after, good chance I will definitely see it and get a response. But while I'm live streaming and while I'm at this party, wasn't reading the mentions, had to go back through later on and look at them. A lot of good stuff in there. Picked out 5 that I thought were interesting and hit on some of the points I already have, but a few different points in here. So we'll talk about these. First one comes from Sports Card Joe. He says, imagine that. Topps giving away cards supposed to be in a release. Good luck chasing them for a PC. PC being like a personal collection. So definitely agree with him there. I mean, hard not to. If you're at this party scooping this stuff up, you feel great. If you're not, if you're like most people and you weren't at this party, you're looking at it, scratching your head, being like, wait a sec, I bought a box of Topps Mint, and you're telling me 5 of the Corey Seager autograph cards that I wanted weren't in there? How many more weren't in there? So great point there. Another tweet along the same lines here. Trader Cracks. In response to, I got a Omar Vizquel Topps Transcendent autograph card in my gift bag. Trader Crack says, quote, weren't those in the boxes that were supposed to be bought to go to this party, unquote. That is correct. That is correct. Yes, that Omar Vizquel was in the boxes that had the passes to get in this party. I can kind of see that. I was actually surprised they held this party so soon after they released Transcendent. Transcendent was released in December, and this party was like a month and a half after they released Transcendent. I was surprised that they didn't give it like more of a window of opportunity to sell, get all these passes out. Because essentially once the party happened, that spot or that pass is obviously, essentially worthless. Topps wasn't going to go retroactively give you a bunch of stuff if you weren't there and didn't show up. So, and Tom Fish might have scooped some of those. I don't know how that worked, but Topps definitely did this for this party. They quote, opened their own boxes of Transcendent and re-gave those cards away. And they also did that with the Topps Sapphire exclusive set that was sold on their website that I believe was like $15,000. They obviously didn't sell all those, newsflash there. They reopened at least, one of those sets, slapped 1 of 1 on those, and put those away, put those in the party. I got a Corey Seager 1 of 1 that I sold for about $300 that I'm still waiting payment on. So some of those were nice cards. So that is, again, another collector, somebody in the hobby who's looking at this stuff that's given away at the party and is scratching their collective heads being like, well, wait a sec. Weren't these supposed to be in packs, in boxes, and now they're given away to these guys who dusted off $2,000 to $3,000 to be there? Next tweet, GYOM329, maybe GYUM329 says, if you get a chance to speak to Topps, tell them some of us still care about the Ginter code. So that is a very good relevant point there. The Topps Allen and Ginter code, which may or may not have been cracked this year. I know it's very difficult. It usually takes a team of people in the past, that it's not just one person. Usually it takes like 2 or 3 of these guys and they're working this out. I mean, it can be quite a challenge. I think in some years it's been quote cracked fairly quickly. In other years, I think it's taken a long time. And I think even dating back to last year, it may not be cracked yet, which is astonishing. And I know they generally give away an exclusive crack the code autograph set to the people who have won in the past. So it can be worth your time to try and do this, because the set, you get a complete set, I believe, of all the autographs that were in that year's Allen and Ginter, with an exclusive border. They might be serial numbered 101. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I seen one, but certainly nice cards. And if you're doing it with some friends, it might be kind of just fun doing it there. So I apologize that I didn't see that. It's certainly something I could have asked them. I apologize I didn't see that. I guarantee you next time I do see Topps or talk with somebody there, I will be sure to mention what is up with the Ginter code, and I'll throw that out there. Another tweet from a friend of mine, Lori. She says, quote, advice on cybersecurity and info on who to call if your company gets hacked. Or are they saving that for the industry summit? So if you don't know, Topps website has been hacked. They got hacked earlier this year, and orders for several months were impacted. And there are people who have gotten fraudulent charges because of this hack. There are documented people who have gotten fraudulent charges because of this Topps hack. So it has impacted people in a serious way, because that's annoying. Most of us, a lot of us have probably had that experience where you wake up and all of a sudden you start seeing stuff tick off on your credit card or your debit card, and you're like, wait a sec, where'd that come from? So that is definitely a very bad feeling and cause some havoc for you. So certainly no mention of the hack or anything about the hack at the Topps party, which was, just briefly after. If I was a good reporter, if I was an actual, news person, somebody, in the media, That would have been a great question to ask. I guess that's why they didn't take question and answer, because boy, that would have been one of the first ones you had to have asked was about the hack. What's going on with that? How would they improve their security? Any hope to the people who had their cards breached and stuff charged to them? So, great question there. Last tweet, Jason James 1979 says, quote, "Can you find out why Topps sent out batch 1 of why Topps now sent out batch 1 of the Cubs World Series autograph sets before Anthony Rizzo signed?" Batch 1 had no chance for Anthony Rizzo. So that's very interesting. I don't know how that works. I didn't know there were different batches. So that's very interesting. That would be disappointing if you were a Cubs fan. And Anthony Rizzo, along with Bryant and maybe like David Ross, but all those guys are certainly beloved at this point. But Anthony Rizzo is certainly high on that list for Cubs fans. So if they didn't have a shot to get his autograph after buying this set, that would be kind of interesting. I don't know much about that. Jason James, 1979. I'll have to look into it maybe a little bit more and get back to you. I did have a chance to have a pretty extended conversation with one of the autograph acquisition guys. They are going to really focus on Topps Now this year is going to be a big deal. They're going to implement lots more different things, sets, autograph, exclusive types of stuff. All that's going to be happening on Topps Now as the MLB season breaks off. And they might even kick it off. I should have asked them if they were going to go with spring training, which seems like a natural fit there. They're going to be one of the big hang-ups with Topps Now is getting good images. So he seemed to imply that they were going to take steps to get more images of these guys. Probably they're going to do a lot of that at spring training. And some of those kind of stock images might again be used on Topps Now cards where they don't have a very good image. Not something verbatim that he said, but we did talk quite a bit about images and how hard it is sometimes. Like even they did a Ben Zobrist autograph card from the Cubs White House visit. He talked about how hard it was to get a picture. And yeah, the picture itself, he's standing next to Carl Edwards. I think that's his name. Pitcher for the Carl Edwards, relief pitcher. Good pitcher, actually. Lanky right-handed pitcher. And anyways, the picture of Ben Zobrist isn't very good, and he talks about how that's a challenge for them to turn around these cards in 24 hours to get a good image of these guys is a challenge. Sounds like they're going to try to do some things in spring training to alleviate that. That might also seep over to regular cards as well. Might have some more, might be taking more care and more time into the pictures of these cards because they are important. They help sell cards, good images. Certain ones, even that Chris Bryant set that I got from the party, certain ones I knew were more valuable just by the way they looked and the design of the card. I was able to get more for, the 87 Topps version, and some of the different ones. Obviously, the older ones are going to sell for more than some of the ones in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. So lots of things happening there. Apologize I didn't get more, CNN breaking news coverage from that. Thought some of the live stream video and some of the coverage was sufficient. Again, they told me to stop, so don't know how much luck I wanted to press. They were in control of the goodie bag that I got that essentially made it a break even, if not profitable trip when you add it up at the end of the day. Topps could do a much better job reaching out to people who love their cards, blog about their cards, create content about their cards, mostly for free. A lot of the voices in the hobby, they get, kind of put on the back burner, and they really get no love from Topps. no interaction with Topps, no chance to Q&A with Topps, unless you pay your way to go out to the National, unless you have some real ambitious and email them or reach out to them on a phone call. But how successful will that be? Unless you pay $2,500 and get yourself to Vegas into this party, how many face-to-face interactions you have with Topps? There are lots of really good sports card blogs out there, and people who tweet and people who create videos and who'd love some interaction with Topps, who'd love to have some of these questions that we've talked about on the show here. Love to have those questions answered and more. And I think even if the answer sometimes is I don't know, or maybe an answer that they don't want to hear, just getting that information out there, having that open dialogue, I think that helps. Information moves collectibles. You can listen to every PSA conference call. Information drives collecting. That's why PSA does spend some money on their website and releases a magazine I'm sure they make no money on, and keep track of pricing and population reports and set registry and stuff. Some of their website design is maybe a little rudimentary, but they do spend the time to have that information. Far cry from Topps' website, who was recently hacked. But you could go back not 5-10 years ago, and Topps had pictures of every single card that was released. You can go back to the web archive, types in Topps.com, go back to 2003, 2004 or something, find the checklist page. Usually you can find it, you can get to it eventually, and you'll be able to go to checklist that Topps had on their website that had pictures, a mock-up. Most of the time they were mock-up pictures, but it was still a picture of a front and back of every single card. A lot of card companies had that in this day. The information they've provided has actually gotten worse, and it's actually gotten fragmented. It's got it fragmented out to where PSA has to do a price guide and have some checklists on their website. Beckett has some checklists on their website. We have some checklists on Sports Card Radio. Cardboard Connection has checklists on. But you can see what can happen that when you don't keep track of your own data, sometimes collectors can become very confused. This is why they should reach out to bloggers and people who are keeping track of this information, are keeping track of these sets and the release dates and all. There's a lot of people doing it. Several people that they could reach out to, give more information to, do a conference call with, send more release dates information, send them a checklist. A lot of this happens for the big sets, but some of the smaller sets get swept on the rug. Sometimes you never see a checklist for stuff. I'm sure there'd be a lot of questions that, group breakers and dealers would love to ask Panini about Panini Replay. But unless you're chum-chum with a guy over there, or if you meet him at a conference or at a show, you never get an opportunity to get a square answer from them, in person or over the phone. Maybe you get something over email. So it's a shame. These companies could do a lot better job. There's a lot of people out there that would give them free promotion, that would work harder for them, that would help them sell more cards. I personally know that information drives collecting. Anybody with any type of intelligence in the hobby knows that. If you didn't know the history behind the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle baseball card, it would be a worthless piece of cardboard to you. If you didn't know the history behind the Honus Wagner card, it would mean nothing to you. If you didn't know the history behind the King Griffey Jr. 1989 card, it would mean nothing to you. So the more information they could provide, especially about these current sets as people re-enter the hobby, really would be a good job. But that's a few minutes of ranting there. Hopefully at some point they do that. There's a lot of people who would benefit from that, who do on a day-to-day basis are following what these card companies do, or would follow more, or would create more content. Okay? It would help sell these sets. Unless you're, plugged in, a lot of times you don't know what's going on here. You don't know what's in these sets. Don't know when it comes out. Don't know where to buy it. Don't know how much it costs. Those are all bad things, especially when you're trying to market a product. So again, something there. Their senior marketing manager, is a little chilly. So that's something. Perhaps something to look into. So I know firsthand their senior marketing managers a little chilly. So I wouldn't be expecting any type of sweeping changes to the Topps marketing plan anytime soon. But that's it. Peace out. See you guys later. And hopefully something cool will happen in the sports card world. And I'll be back to talk about it.